Welcome to another video from Rennie Foresights. Today we're going to talk about trading card games on blockchain and why this is significant. Alright, so if we look at Bitcoin and when it initially came out, what did it solve? It solved this problem where if I wanted to send money digitally, I needed another person to facilitate that. So I take the money and it send it through a bank and then another person receives it. The reason for this was that sending it any other way, so like I was to send it like I would send a picture, we see with pictures that someone will cut and paste the picture and now we have two of the picture. This is a problem with money because you can't have the same person sending money to multiple places using the same dollar. When we look at trading cards, we kind of have the same problem. So when in person, say for example, you grew up, you had Pokemon cards, you had sports cards, or many other different game cards. This is a huge industry and there are many different types of collector cards. Some of these cards have games and some of them are just for collection, but doing them in a digital form, though there's been money in it, like for example, the game Hearthstone was making $20 million per month in 2015. So obviously substantial revenue. There's no real way for the individual playing the game to really feel this essence of owning their cards. That was part of the childhood experience. So someone has their Pokemon cards, they could look at their Pokemon cards at night, they see, oh, I own this one, I own that one, versus the digital aspect of that. There's no looking back and realizing, oh wow, I kept my card in a box for the last 15 years and now I realize that it's worth something. That couldn't exist because most of the time the game company had no traction for months and then they'd have to shut down if it were in a digital environment. But with blockchain, we can actually take this back. So we can have digital ownership where you own the cards and you can maintain the cards. So let's say that thing falls out of popularity in the short run, but then makes a resurgence during the next generation, which is very common. We see like remakes of movies and things like this. So it takes this resurgence when those people have kids. Traditionally, though, that would be all gone if it were digital. But now with NFTs, we can actually store this. So 20 years later, all of a sudden, hey, look, I have this and this NFT. Wow, you have the originals. Same as with cards. Another aspect of this that's really interesting is whenever you were playing cards, so you have the physical card and you're going to play against someone else, you have geographical boundaries. So you could have two kids at a school playing together. You could have two people part of a club playing together. We have the emergence of the internet, but no real practical way to play with those cards and own them at the same time. So you could play a card game, like the previous example of Hearthstone, but you couldn't actually own them. Earlier this week, I took some time and tinkered around with a game called Gods Unchained. I'm not specifically saying, hey, this is the game or anything like that. Please don't misconstrue this as a promotion of this particular game. It's just a particular example. The example here is that not only can I own the cards, but now let's say you only have one friend that can play that game with you locally. That's not too much fun. But now with it going digital, you now have the entire global player base to play your card game with. You can go online, you can find an opponent, or you can directly play against your friend by selecting to play against your friend. You don't have to do it from the same location. So maybe your friend lives in the next town. You don't need to go over to your friend, just as any other game right now. What this does is it creates a much larger, more valuable player base for playing these types of games with the ownership. This for me was one of the the reasons that a lot of card things didn't make sense. Well, it's great. Okay, you go to the store, you buy 10 packs of cards, then what, you join a local club or something like that. It's pretty much the only option that you had for a lot of these things, is that you needed to find someone in your local vicinity to play them, or you needed the Hearthstone equivalent of just a bunch of digital cards that the company always owns that you could never resell. You could never say, hey, look, 10 years down the road, or even 2 months down the road, I bought all these cards, I don't want them anymore, I'm just going to sell them. This creates an example of growing into this NFT space that is simple to understand, much less complicated than trying to take on, where can we go with the metaverse and where would we be 20 years from now. This gives us a practical application of something that can be done today. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and comment and subscribe for more of this content. Have a great day. Bye-bye.